Hello everyone! Welcome to Hustle Mindset for your daily dose of tips and tricks to a healthy and progressive work attitude. Today we'll be talking about the essentials of managing people in any work environment, which would eventually lead to a promising team of individuals working towards achieving professional goals together. Did you know that a major piece of being an effective supervisor is utilizing your experience and specialized abilities to take care of business? However, those two elements are truly just 50% of the story. Your prosperity as a supervisor will principally rely upon soft skills that are not difficult to underestimate. What are these abilities that mean more than experience and specialized ability consolidated? You can evaluate your own abilities by just posing yourself the accompanying inquiry. How well accomplished I work with others? But when you attempt and get to the particulars of being a viable colleague, the knowledge frequently separates into consensus. For example, she's affable, or he has a decent character. These sweeping statements can be baffling while you're attempting to work on as a chief and colleague. What is people's management? People administration is the method of preparing, propelling, and coordinating workers to optimize working environment efficiency and advance proficient development. Working environment pioneers, such as group leads, directors, and division heads, use people's administration to supervise workflow and boost representative execution each day. People administration is valuable in numerous work environment circumstances, such as for handling interpersonal conflicts. Managers and representatives in authority positions have an imperative role in settling clashes. Viable people's administration can assist you intercede clashes between representatives in a way that advances collaboration and respect. Leading worker training as a work environment pioneer, you will be capable for onboarding unused representatives and coaching current workers on overhauled forms. You'll be able to utilize the components of people's administration to supply valuable criticism and guide workers so they can succeed in their positions. Let's talk about some of the very basic but important ways towards productive and mindful human resource management. The first one on the list is patience. Persistence is one of those abilities that everybody thinks they have until work gets truly extreme. The facts confirm that some are brought into the world with more persistence than others. However, that doesn't mean you can't foster your capacity to keep a clear mind in an upsetting circumstance. At the point when you feel like others are flying off the handle, and you may be there as soon as possible with them, attempt the accompanying activity. Shut your eyes. Take full breaths in and out. This straightforward method will assist you with remaining patient and quiet during the most difficult of conditions. The second one here is good communication. Great correspondence incorporates a large number of abilities, including your capacity to coexist with others, your capacity to convince others, your capacity to get others to pay attention to your thoughts, the lucidity of what you say. This last expertise is especially significant on the grounds that time is restricted, and the staggering presence of cell phones in our general public requests steady correspondence. Great chiefs will be basically as clear as conceivable in what they say, and they will ensure that all workers comprehend. Number 3 is ability to relate. Business is about people, so having the option to connect with different perspectives is crucial to progress, regardless of whether you're a chief. Assuming you battle on occasion to connect with someone else's mentality, have a go at imagining their perspective. What made them feel the manner in which they do? What might encourage them? At the point when you can see what is going on according to a viewpoint that isn't your own, and impart that you see the worth in that point of view, you keep away from false impressions. Remember that connecting with others doesn't mean you're a weakling. It simply implies that you can see where the other individual is coming from. Make sure to settle on a truce. Fourth point of today's video is flexibility. Adaptability implies understanding that there are much of the time different ways of following through with a job. Since one colleague decides to handle an issue uniquely in contrast to you would have, doesn't imply that the methodology is off base. There might be a more proficient method for taking care of business. However, as a rule, the outcomes truly matter. Adaptability likewise implies having the option to change rapidly to evolving conditions. Try not to be so stuck in a rut that you can't make time to manage an issue that wasn't on your timetable. Number 5, trust. Being a chief is about trust. You need to believe that your colleagues have the business well-being on a basic level. You need to believe that they will cooperate to get done with any job that comes their direction. Lastly, you need to believe that all of this will occur without your steady management. Keep in mind, you can't do everything. Eventually, you need to appoint. That takes trust in your representatives as well as in yourself and your capacity to be a compelling pioneer. Number 6, interest in others. We as a whole need to associate on some level, and the most ideal way to do that is by showing interest in others. Here is a basic equation for conveying certifiable interest. Seek clarification on pressing issues. Think about the responses, pose more inquiries throughout your discussions, and as far as might be feasible from that point, monitor relevant data about your representatives so you can pose more inquiries later. Furthermore, consistently recollect names, dates, and significant occasions in every people's life. Number 7, ability to listen. As an individual in an administrative role, you ought to constantly live by the proverb, "We were given 2 ears, however just a single mouth for an explanation." The main part of your action, then, ought to listen as opposed to talking. Find opportunity to pay attention to what your representatives need to say without intruding. Then ponder what you need to say prior to answering. This kind of dynamic tune in and answer is generally difficult, yet with training, it can have an effect by the way you speak with your colleagues and how they speak with you. Number 8, great judgment. The establishment of great judgment is looking at the world around you, listening to what others have to be say, learning from that information, because great judgment is based on tangible signals. It is regularly portrayed as a gut feeling, and that's not off base. Your oblivious intellect can process these signals much quicker than your conscious mind. So in case you've got a feeling almost something simply can't fundamentally clarify, utilize that feeling as a premise for your choice making. Number 9, empathy. Compassion is characterized as the capacity to get it and share the sentiments of somebody else. To put that in less complex terms, think of sympathy as sympathy. In case one of your group peoples is going through a separate or their child is seriously ill, it's crucial that you just appear kindness or sympathy for their situation. After all, on the off chance that you were enduring through those issues, you'd need somebody to cut you a small slack as well. That's what being compassionate is all approximately. Understanding that a group part may be distracted because of challenges exterior of work. Your work as a supervisor is to create their work life less demanding for the time being or offer assistance that remain centered until things settle down. Number 10, being an open-minded individual. What does it cruel to have an open intellect? It's certainly not my way or the highway. An open intellect is predicated on the thought that you just may not have all the answers, or indeed the finest reply for a given circumstance. Somebody else's idea of what to do may be way better than yours. When you keep an open mind and make beyond any doubt that your group peoples know you've got an open mind, it makes believe and regard. Your workers will know that their perspective, their input, and their proposals are esteemed and will be utilized in case at all possible. When you're known for your open intellect, you'll moreover be known as receptive and simple to work with. Number 10 is accountability. Accountability implies taking obligation for your work and the work of your employees. As a chief, you serve as a part demonstrate for everybody on your group. On the off chance that you claim responsibility when the work is going well but pass the buck when the work is going severely, your representatives will notice. Effective supervisors take obligation for disappointments as well as victories. In the event that the disappointments start to dwarf the victories, the chief will take steps to settle the root cause of the issue and rouse their workers to improve. A need of responsibility at the administrative level disintegrates the certainty your group has in you and within the business as an entire. This will make a me-first demeanor in your workers, since they will tend to take captive the case of those in authority. You can maintain a strategic distance from this issue inside and out by being a great part show and continuously taking obligation for your activities and the activities of your group, whether great or terrible. Number 11, positivity. Inspiration within the work environment is pivotal in the event that you need your commerce to succeed. Inspiration reflects in everything your group does, from customer-facing exercises down to taking out the waste. And when it's missing, everybody will feel it. If you need to empower positivity in your workers, you would like to begin with show inspiration yourself. For illustration, on the off chance that you're confronting a troublesome extent or a due date is quickly drawing closer. Don't center on the negative and begin to complain. Instead, get energized approximately at the prospect of finding a modern and interesting arrangement or working difficult to total everything sometime recently the due date. Move your viewpoint and don't see these challenges as faltering squares or deterrents. See them as openings to excel. When you work out inspiration come what may, the state of mind will rub off on your representatives and persuade them to significance. Number 12, approachability. As a manager, you are the leader of your team. That means that at some point, one of your employees is going to come to you with problems and questions. You're going to need to give guidance and direction. But how will you receive them? Will you be brusque and dismissive? Or will you be welcoming and approachable? Being open and approachable even when you're already busy is the quality that builds goodwill, positivity, and loyalty in your team. Regardless of what you're doing, try to give your full attention to anyone who comes to you with a question or problem. If you have a hard time doing this, put yourself in their shoes. Imagine how you would feel going to your supervisor or your supervisor's supervisor with a dilemma in the company. You'd likely feel nervous and apprehensive. In that state of mind, how would you want your superior to act dismissive about the issue or approachable and willing to talk? If you simply can't be interrupted at the moment, apologize and reassure your team member that you want to hear what they have to say. Then, make an appointment to talk and be sure to keep it. Compelling people's administration could be an essential quality for current and trying pioneers who point to make strides work environment communication and get ready workers for victory. Looking at the skills that make up people's administration can assist you find your qualities and recognize owns for enhancement. Amazing supervisors can utilize their people's administration abilities to boost the execution of their representatives, keep their peoples cheerful and locked in, and convey genuine comes about for the commerce. There are a few peoples who have the soft skills in people's administration. It's their nature. It hasn't been learned, but there's a super huge number of ways to create difficult aptitudes to way better serve your staff. Which one of these management strategies do you practice in your work environment being a manager and a colleague? Let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to know your secret strategies too. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more tips to work smartly. The bell icon awaits. Happy hustling!